Okay, starting. So just we'll have one audio video check. You guys can see there is emojis icon for everyone. Let's test it out. And with that, I'll get to know that you are able to hear me fine. So if you're able to see me fine, give me a thumbs up. All the attendees, if you're able to see me, thumbs up. Okay, super. Keep these thumbs ups coming in our event as well. And if you're able to hear me fine, give the clap, the emoji claps. So thank you everyone for this quick audio video check. I hope we are ready to begin on this first ever JPF knowledge series. So as you all know, we are thinking to bring new minds, new ideas, new thoughts, people, a lot of new experience for all of the Jito JPF family. So before we begin, as we always start with, we'll start with Navkar mantra. I would request everyone to stand on their place and join me for a Navkar mantra. Namo Ariyantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Savva Sahunam, Eso Panch Namo Savva Pava Pranam, Manglaram Cha Savesim, Padmam Havai Manglam. Thank you everyone. I request everyone to take your seats, adjust your view again in case if you have to. Thank you everyone for joining today. I'll just take 1 minute to do the quick audio video check and then we'll get going. Thank you everyone for joining on this beautiful Sunday morning for our first series, which is JPF Knowledge Series. We will officially begin this program now. I thank you everyone for joining us today. And you guys have the emojis icons and the chat box. Use that for passing any message to the host and the guest we have. So first of all, call out Shri Raunakji Gulecha, Jito Professional Forum Bangalore Convener and Director of Jito Bangalore South Foundation. CS, LLB, PGD, BA and Director in multiple companies. He has his own professional practice under the name of Messrs. H.P. Gulecha and Company based out of Bangalore, which is all the services like audit, direct tax, indirect taxation, labor compliances, payroll, etc. under one roof. I now request Raunakji to address us everyone. Raunakji, over to you.
Thank you for the introduction, Tarangi. So, I'll just be very brief. We at Jito Professional Forum Bangalore, under Jito Bangalore South Foundation, pride ourselves that we are today 700 plus members in the community, wherein we strive to achieve our goals and cherish each other's success. Professionals like CAs, CS, advocates, engineers, doctors, architects are the members of our elite forum. Our forum is the biggest in the country in the Jito community. Our motto of by the professionals, of the professionals and for the professionals has resonated well with many Jain professionals. This forum brings us together to create an environment for our knowledge sharing, networking and empowering each other to grow beyond. After a very successful JPFS 2025 on 1st June 2025, we are here with us today for the first knowledge series with our guest, Mr. Saurabh. Thank you.
Thank you, Raunakji, for helping us and supporting us for all our events. Now, moving ahead, I would now move on to our host, Dr. Akshay Khanter, Knowledge Series Convener. The series, what we are seeing right now, he's the event convener and host for the day. Dr. Akshay Khanter is a doctorate in management, a law graduate, and a member of the Bar Council. He has 5 postgraduate master in management, finance, and international business, along with certifications in stock markets and finances. A recipient of awards like Best Manager, Bangalore University, and Best CEO, Manipal University. He is also an author of the books on stock markets and actuarial sciences. Dr. Khanter is the founder of Guru Mantras Group. We welcome you, Dr. Akshay Khanter. So he will be our host for the day. Thank you. Now I'll move on to introduce our guest today, Mrs. Saurabh Jain. Mrs. Saurabh is the co-founder and CEO of Stable Money, a fast-growing fintech platform that helps individuals invest in fixed returns products such as fixed deposits, bonds, debit funds with ease and transparency. And I can vouch for that because I have also tried this platform. An alumnus of IIT Bombay, Saurabh brings over a decade of leadership experience across finance and technology. So prior to founding Stable Money, he served as the MD and CEO of Navy mutual funds and was part of the leadership team at Swiggy as well, where he had helped scale Swiggy to 520 cities across India. This all needs a superb claps and emojis. Will welcome our guest of the day today, Mr. Saurabh Jain. And I am your co-organizer, Tarun Kumar Bagmar. I'll be back in and out, so I'll now put on this stage to our host and our guest. I'll see you later. Thank you everyone for having me. Over to you, Akshayji.
Thank you, Tarunji. Thank you, Saurabh for accepting our invitation to be our first guest in this JPF professional series. And I welcome you on behalf of the entire JPF and the Jito family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Akshay. I know we have been discussing for the last 2-3 weeks, and you have been kind enough to accommodate this. I've been in Bangalore for, sorry.
Yes, sir. It's always been a great interaction, whichever we've had in the last 3 weeks. And
I've been in Bangalore for the last 7 years, and since then I've always wanted to be part of the Jito organization. I used to see it in the newspapers and everything, but never got an opportunity to be associated with this. So this is I was really looking forward to this and interacting with everybody here and be part of this association going forward. So thank you so much for having me.
So the pleasure is ours, and we would actually want you to play a larger picture going forward in the entire Jito family. And probably a lot of youngsters would need your mentorship. And once we probably open up and unpack your story today, probably you'll have a lot of answers, as I have become one of yours. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
And sir, before we start, on behalf of the entire Jito and JPF family, I would like to congratulate you on your Series B funding. It's a great milestone, sir. And probably people, mostly we have a lot of CAs, so they would know what a Series B funding means. So it's a mark of probably a journey which is probably going to go longer from now on.
Right. No, I think it's been an honor that last 2.5-3 years of stable money. We'll talk more about it. Was amazing journey, but with Series B, having somebody like Nandan Nilekani on our board means a lot to us as part of the trust marker as well for our customers. So yeah, I think you are also very excited about that.
Right, sir. So like all of us probably go to the movies just to live a movie, right? So today we've all gathered here virtually and on live mediums, probably to live a story called Saurabh Jain. And I believe people will have everyone should have an idea of how Saurabh Jain has probably transitioned himself from being an Aurangabad boy to today a fintech a masterpiece, probably whom people are looking forward to, that he can probably scale his organization. And it's a proud moment for the entire community and fraternity. So till now, the introduction which Tarunji gave us is probably from your journey from IIT Bombay to say stable money. So probably what we would want to do is, first we would want to know your journey in Aurangabad, where you come from, what was your education background, your family, what your parents do, and then probably we'll take it forward from there, sir.
Got it. No, absolutely. I'll talk about it. I think it's always fun to talk about your childhood. I am born and brought up in Aurangabad. It's a tier 2 city in Maharashtra. I'm sure a lot of people are aware about it because of the Ajanta-Ellora caves. And most of my childhood was in Aurangabad. It's only after I got admission into IIT Bombay, I left Aurangabad. I'm the only child to my parents, so always very, very pampered. Though the overall financial condition was not very great. I was an average student throughout. I had no clue about what is going on in the family regarding financials and everything. And always happy about how things are moving. One fine day when I was in 10th standard, I think one of my teachers called me and they said, Saurabh, see, this is your family situation. And if you don't do anything to improve it, it will always remain the same. So the only hope for the family is you. And I think that day changed the way I looked at my life, career. and everything, and I started taking it very, very seriously. And that year, it was 10th, where um, I started putting a lot of, because that time the only thing that you can do to contribute to your family is to study.
Very
And I know it's a very small house that we had at that point in time, and you can't study throughout the day because mom was working, dad was doing something, so is very busy. So I remember staying up all night, studying. Then there is morning classes, 6, 7, go, come back, and then sleep. And this I did for almost, I think, a year. And obviously kept getting a lot of encouragement from my teachers, from my parents, about how things are improving. And then that year changed, gave me a lot of confidence. In 10th, I was part of Marathi medium schooling. Um, um, and it was a SSC board, Maharashtra board. And that time I came third in Maharashtra. And that gave me a lot of confidence, because when that happened, everybody in the family, everybody in the society, everybody in the school, college, and they had no clue that, okay, somebody came at this rank, and who is Saurabh Jain? Though I was part of the same community, though I was part of the same school, there was no focus given to me. And I think that I really enjoyed. That gave me a lot more confidence in terms of, okay, if you put hard work, because I still believe that I'm not the smartest person in any meeting room, but I know that if you leave it to me, I think I'll put all the hard work to make it work. And that confidence came in 10th. Then started preparing for IIT, because the idea is to go further beyond this. Spent a year in Pune, and then finally got into IIT Bombay. And yeah, I think though I think because we doing this doesn't change the any financial situation for my family, but I think that gave a lot of hope, that okay, now things will start improving. Um, Parents started getting some attention in the society, which I think was the most important part. So that 2003 to 2005-6 was a great period for us. I think that changed how things progressed eventually in future. And yeah, I think 2006 I got into IIT Bombay. Yeah, so that's a bit about my childhood. I'm happy to um, answer anything.
right. So I just wanted to know what your father used to do. Was he a businessman? Was he into an employment? And a request from the audience: can you be a little louder, because they are not able to probably comprehend a lot of it.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
This
I'll
is
try
better.
and be a. Okay, this is better. Perfect.
Yeah.
No. So my dad tried, because he was also very entrepreneurial, and he wanted to change the way things are, and he tried a lot of businesses. I think he was into job, then got into multiple other small businesses. Nothing worked out. I think towards the end, when he retired, he was he was a stockbroker working with companies like Angel One stockbroking, and he was managing the Marathwada region at that point in time. But yeah, I think nothing specific to mention about the profession. I think my mom also did something from the house itself for a good 10, 15 years to support the family. So I think we barely managed things. But very proud that never had to take any loan or anything. But yeah, I think just very close, what do you say, survival.
So growing up, you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or there was just I just want to be a little successful, or in childhood you probably there are kids, right, who want to be recognized. So what was in your mind at that point of time?
No, Akshay, I think you mentioned very aptly that I wanted to be recognized, because whether it was in school, whether it was in my society, whether it was wherever we used to go, I think nobody used to recognize me or the family. And that always, I wanted that. I wanted to do something which can give you the recognition. I think obviously money would follow. And as I always say, that though people talk that money will not solve your problem, but money definitely solve your money problem. So you need money to solve some of those problems. So never underestimate that. So So yeah, but recognition, having that value, respect in the society was always there. I think I never realized that. I think it's just when you become grown up, you go back and say that you do certain things in a certain way and why you do that. And today, I think it's just part of that. And whenever I see people, whenever I see candidates, whenever I hire people in our company, I think I look for that passion and drive, that people who have gone through something and they want to prove something to themselves, to their family, to the world. I think those are the people who will always do better. And most of my team that we have hired is like that. Yeah. So that has always been the idea growing up.
So reaching IIT Bombay, was that your first stepping stone, probably where you felt that, okay, this is one platform where I believe that I can build up from here? And how was your experience
Yes.
of IIT? That's also a very important question, which all of them would want to know, because these days people believe that IIT is a ticket to all solutions, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no. I also thought that going to IIT will solve all the problem. And all of that thought or all of that understanding shattered when I landed at IIT Bombay, because everybody around you is smarter than you, has done more things. You have no exposure. I barely used to speak in English. And one of my roommate, he was Harsha, again a Gujarati Jain, born and brought up in Bombay, South Bombay, knows everything. So it was a very complex period, and that for first year, I struggled massively. I think I remember my parents had to come couple of times because I was so homesick, because I never used to get any sleep at night, because it's very, very competitive at IIT Bombay. And you always thought that getting to IIT Bombay will solve your problems. But I think I had no light at the end of the tunnel saying that, okay, this will help me. So my first year was very difficult. Being a only child and limited friends, I think it was difficult to survive in a hostel kind of an environment. But after that, I think second year onwards, things started becoming better. Um, I think one of my life's best friends are made out of that. And I'll give you some of the names of that. Everybody knows them. These are very popular people now in the industry. And so that gave me a lot of confidence. They also understood and they helped me through this journey for the last, in those last 3 years of my college. I was then opportunity to participate in some of the very big college festivals like Mood Indigo and Tech Fest. And I was part of that 20-member team to do that, which gave me first hands-on experience of doing something as a team at such a large scale. So that I think that transformed me into who I am today, and not because of the place, but honestly because of the people. And if you go to any of the IITs, you will hear stories, and some of it is presented in a lot of movies as well. It's true that it's not like people in IIT just study. I think they do studies only for the 10-15% of the time. But why parents want to send their kids to IIT is because obviously the title matters, but those 3-4 years of experience where people across India come who have different skill set, who have different ways of different attitude of doing things, you learn a lot from them. And that builds a very strong community, right? And you look at now companies like, whether it is Ola, whether it was housing, whether it is many such companies, these are all our friends from the similar time who have built this, and that builds a very strong network for you, like how Jito is, right? Very strong community, people will stand up and help each other. I think that's the same community or network of alumni that you build out of IIT Bombay. So that was definitely the first year was I was not very sure how things will work out. But after the last 3 years, I think when I came out of IIT Bombay, it was a very different Saurabh who actually entered into IIT Bombay.
So Saurabh, you said that you met Harsha as one of your classmates in IIT, right? So
Right.
is it that probably like a life partner, a co-founder is also of the similar genre, right? You probably look at a
Right.
lot of things, right, before choosing
Right.
your partner. So is it that that
Right.
comfort level, what you strike when you're studying with friends of yours, that builds
Right.
as a bond for life, even as co-founders also?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, see, the most important thing, or the most important, let's say, if you talk about business partners as well, I feel that you should have a similar DNA, like the family, the background, the needs, the ambition has to be very similar, because when you get into a business, you will be faced with a lot of challenges. You will be faced with a lot of opportunities, and which challenge to pick or which opportunity to pick depends a lot on your upbringing, background, and everything. And my co-founder at Stable Money, I think we come from a very similar background. We know what we want out of life. We know that anything that happens, we will be true to our integrity, and we will not do anything that for short term gives us a lot of value, but over long term it hurts us, because in our families, in our childhood, we have seen that. And there is always that fear of, we don't want to go back to the old days. We want to keep building it from here. So the hard work also comes in. So I believe it is very important that your business partner has a very similar background, has a very similar ambition. Otherwise, initially it looks okay, but then when there are problems or when there are opportunities, is when different people will want different things. And that's where things starts breaking. So it's very, very important that you know your business partner, you know your co-founder since the beginning, so that in the difficult time, you know that, like, for example, now I am having this conversation. I know what is happening in the business, what my co-founder might be doing at this point in time. I think that confidence helps you a lot. So I think that plays a very significant role. And having that 4 years of working together, staying in a college, going through a lot of ups and downs, knowing good and bad side of yours, helps a lot to build that bond. And that's why you will see a lot of successful startups that you see in India, right? Are the people who have been or who have studied together. Whether you look at Swiggy, where Nandan and Harsha studied together, whether you look at Flipkart, where Sachin and Bini were studying together. I think these are all successful because they had a bond that was built during your early days of career or college.
Right. So we'll come back to the story of working with Sachin and Sriharsha a little later. But first,
Right.
4 years of IIT, and then you got a campus placement. You got placed in campus.
Yeah, I was. I always thought that I'd get a good job, but again, to my surprise, I got a very average job. I got placed in this company called JP Capital. It was a very new company. It's run by the promoter. And for me, I remember 2003 when I was in 10th, my dad had a job which was 7,500, and we were so happy. So when in 2010, I got my CTC was 9 lakh. So simple maths ki 75,000 aega. I was super happy, pumped to go to Delhi and do that. But when we landed there, we realized that company had some terms and condition which was not initially mentioned to us, that you will only be paid 25,000 a month, and you will have to survive in Delhi. So that was a difficult time, but we still, again, let's work hard, let's make it big. That passion was always there. But in very 3-6 months, I realized that the kind of company, the ethics or the integrity that they had was not very good. And I was also not performing absolutely well at the trading job. So I was fired from my first job, came back to Aurangabad, no job at that point in time. And parents and everybody were, hoping that now things will change. Eventually, that company got shut down within 2 years because of the similar issue that company got blacklisted. But that was the time, and I came back with no job. And I remember I was preparing for CFA level 1 at that point in time. And because parents were already going through a lot of stress, so I used to study throughout the day. And they were obviously saying that, don't worry, things will happen, we'll manage things. And then when they used to sleep at night, I used to open my old computer and go to each and every company's website and go to their careers and figure out jobs and go to apply. And I think I still have that Gmail with me where I have written some email and to everybody, and I must have applied across some 4,000 roles. Whatever that roles, I don't know. I used to see there is an application, and I used to just apply because that was very important for me. And just one fine day, I got a call from Fractal Analytics. A lot of us might be aware of this company. That company
Yes.
will go IPO in some time. And I went to Bombay, and I interviewed, and yeah, everything was done. I was just saying, I was just sitting there, and they said, "कि क्या हुआ?" I said, "नहीं नहीं, I've been waiting for the result." बोले, यार अभी आपका इंटरव्यू हुआ है, you leave, we will inform you by 6 in the evening, and that was 12. So they said we'll take 6-8 hours because we have to we'll close all the other interviews as well, and then we will finalize who's shortlisted, not shortlisted. And I remember I came down and I was sitting in the parking for 6 hours. Said, "Okay, I will not leave this place without knowing whether our answer is a yes or a no." And at around 5 or 6, they must have called me and confirmed, saying that, "Hey, you got a job." And again, it was a 6 lakh package. They said कि हाथ में सब जोड़ तो काट कुटा के 43,000 was very. And I think that's the second point when things change. I spent almost 4.5, 5 years at Fractal. Again, you get a job, put all your efforts into this. I remember, if somebody has been in Bombay, this office was near Bisleri, in Andheri East, Western Express Highway के पास. And I used to stay in a PG which is candidly. And I know I used to work till very late. And then from there, because late autos and taxi fares were higher, I used to walk down from Andheri, Bisleri till Kandivali. But those years, I think, were the stepping stone, because that's again the time when the hard work that you put in was rewarded. After 1.5, 2 years, they gave me an opportunity to get into Switzerland and work there. And they said, "Ki, Saurabh, you have to go to Geneva to work." And I was very happy because I know that Geneva is outside India. But I had no clue where is Geneva. I think, being a very big SRK fan, I was aware of Switzerland, but I was not aware of where is Geneva. And then I came home and told my wife, and we started looking where is Geneva. And then we realized it's in Switzerland. And we're very happy. I think I spent 2 years there. Anyways, being from a very Jain family, I got married when I was almost 23. So me and my wife traveled to Geneva. Those 2 years were significantly, what do you say, uplifting for us, because obviously you save a lot during that. That builds your corpus, and that is the first time you see such a high corpus, right? At that point in time, this was 2013 to 15 when I was in Geneva. The salary there was 70 lakhs. Obviously, there is a lot of tax and everything, but I was very happy, and we used to save a lot, and we used to and said that, and keep sending that money home, because anyways, the idea was to keep coming back. And those 2 years we traveled as well, got a lot of exposure that built the confidence again. And one fine day, I was in India for some work, and I was meeting my friends from college. And I said, and I was, again, recognition was important. I was in a coffee shop meeting 5-10 of my college friends, and I always thought the conversation will be around Saurabh. Hey, Saurabh, you stay in Geneva, bata life kaisi hai, all that. And nobody talked about it. Everybody was talking about the startup that they were building, how Indian startup ecosystem is changing, what are they doing excited about it. And I think it was such fear of missing out. I said that I'm staying there, though I'm earning, life is better, but the real work is happening in India at this point in time. I remember that same day we had to travel back, same night we traveled back. And we landed in Geneva, and I resigned. I had no job in India. I said that I would come back and build here in India. Obviously, after 3-4 months of whatever notice period, I came back to India, and that's where the startup journey has started.
So, Saurabh, you feel that this perseverance attitude that you have comes from a humble background? Because
yes, I think there
has been a lot of perseverance probably at different stages of life that you have probably pulled it off, right? So do you think
yes.
that it comes from a humble background and a good family support?
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. I think family is the only thing who supports throughout this. Though I was seeing what is happening in the family, but at any point in time, they never said that, okay, no, you have to do this because all of that. So I think that family support from my wife, from my parents, mattered a lot during this. And see, I think when you have options in life, it becomes, what do you say, लिटिल डिफिकल्ट कि ये करूं या ये करूं, इस कॉलेज में एडमिशन मिल रहा है उस कॉलेज में एडमिशन मिल रहा है. I think for me, though I think my story might look very inspiring, I had no other option. Like when I was in 10th, I had no other option than studying because और कुछ मैं कर नहीं सकता. Because I was not great at sport, I was not great at public speaking, I was not great at any other thing. So studying is the only thing because वो एक चीज है which is not a team sport, which is you individually, if you work hard, you will be able to achieve what you wanted. When I got into college, ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे पास 8, 6, 7 IITs के अलग अलग. The only thing I was getting was metallurgy in IIT Bombay. I had no other option, right? So I got into that. When I got into job, that's the only job I had, whether I wanted it, not wanted it, going from Aurangabad to Delhi. I know how the Delhi is. I said, but kuch aur option nahi hai. So I got into that. And when I got into so every time for me, there was no second option. And that made me realize कि अभी यही है तो इसी को पूरी शिद्दत से करते हैं. And let's see if this gives you results. And once you go through some successes of knowing that this is a difficult time and I have passed through that, I think that gives confidence that every time in future, and I'm sure, I think there are so many people, there are 28 people listening to this. My story might be resonating with 80-90% of them. At some point in time, all of us in life have gone through that. But we need somebody who can put it in words to realize that we have also done the similar challenge and have gone through this. And that's been the point that when you have no other option, just work hard and do this. I've seen my dad doing it. It worked sometime, it didn't work sometime, but I think what it worked, I know that in difficult times, don't ask for money in front of anybody. And hard work is the only thing, and your family is the first thing that you should talk to. And that has always stayed with me. And even today, if anything happens good or bad, I sit with my family and tell them that this is it, and we talk together. And though I feel they don't have any solution, let's say in my startup, if something happens, they don't have any solution to that, but just them being there gives you a lot of confidence and energy that you get up next day and say, okay, let's start again and do this. So yeah, when I think for most of my career and time, having no other option makes you work really, really.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that point of time. So now that without any backup, you quit Fractal. So probably you had decided in your mind that you want to start something on your own, right? What was the plan at that point of time?
See, I think things when I quit Fractal was a little easy. Easy in the sense, financially, I had saved some 25-30 lakhs during those 2 years in Geneva, and that was there. I said कि worst case में वो पैसा है because ये तो कभी नहीं था life में in my 20-25 years. Now I have that. That gave me confidence that I came back and said I want to give it a try. I want to see if things work. Because एक चीज मैंने realize की है कि I don't know how many of you are from the engineering background, but एक integration वाला equation होता है, right? When there is a curve, आपका area under the curve increases with every time. If you take different decisions, आपका trajectory अलग होगा, आपका trajectory अलग होगा, तो over a period of time that will give a lot of results, right? Compounding सब लोग बात करते हैं कि आज आप 12% पे कहीं इन्वेस्ट करो, कंपाउंड हो के that amount becomes larger towards the end.
Right.
So I said कि यार take difficult decision which looks difficult at that. So I came back to India. I said कि I'll start, and I had a list of 5 people that I want to work with. Again, college friends, people that I trust. And I was very fortunate that the first person in that list agreed to do
Wow.
the venture. And again, it was 2 years. Our first startup in 2015 was a company called Truce. We were procuring fruits and vegetables from the farmers, and we were delivering it to the restaurants. That was the simple business. We said कि APMC में जाओ तो वहाँ पर चीजें बहुत महंगी होती है. I think we will connect farmers to the restaurants. We did that at that initial point in time. We were very fortunate that Snapdeal founders Kunal Behel, Rohit Bansal, Kunal, who is now on Shark Tank as well, they invested in us, and there were some people who invested. So we had raised at that point in time around Mohandas Pai from Bangalore. He had invested. So we had raised around 3-4 crores. And we were very fortunate that people believed in us because we had no background. And we did that for 2 years. Very unfortunate that we were very early in that idea. आज अगर आप देखोगे Zomato, which is eternal, that company has 3 major businesses. One business is food delivery, second business is Blinkit, third business is Hyperpure. And that Hyperpure is exactly the business that we were doing. But we were a little ahead. The money that we had raised was ending. So we said, this is not working out because doing that supply chain business is a bigger problem because working capital is a problem because जिन restaurants के साथ आप काम करते हो, they take a 30-day, 60-day credit, right? And then that means you can only build it like a business. You can't build it like a startup. You can't scale. So we had to shut that. And we are fortunate that it gave me an opportunity to speak to Shri Harsha. And he offered us, so they acquired the company. And that's how in 2017, I landed in Bangalore with one failed startup in my kitty.
Okay. So, Saurabh, before we move into the Swiggy journey, I just wanted to ask you, because when we talk about these startups, right, there are early movers and there are late entrants, right? How you feel the balance between the early mover and late entrants? See, for example, we had a Swiggy or a Zomato, like for example, a Blinkit and an Instamart who were doing this Q-commerce for a long time, right? And probably then you have a new company which has come into the market, which is Zepto, which is about just 4 years old, but then it's giving it a run for its money. So do you feel that the late entrant is having more advantage these days than an early mover?
Yes, I think unfortunately India is a market where late entrants does a very good job. And you will see multiple such examples. And I'll also give you some examples where early movers had an advantage and why. Late entrants have an advantage because they have learned through all the mistakes that the Indian startup has made, the early mover startup has made, because Indian consumers behave very, very differently than what you think, right? Swiggy was an early mover in food delivery. Zomato, though, was an old company, started a food delivery business very late, but they have a 53% market share, 55% market share. Swiggy has a 45% market share. Where it was reverse, it was Zomato was 0, India was Swiggy was 100. Is because the new entrants learn through all the mistakes that they have. That is first. Second is they don't have the baggage of what is working, what is not working that the early company has. Swiggy always had that baggage saying कि अच्छा ये चलता है, ये नहीं चलता है. This will work because, or this will not work. But the new entrant that comes in obviously learns from the mistake, but is obviously bolder to take some new bets that the other company is not able to take, right? And Swiggy again, Instamart was the first one. Swiggy was the first one to start Instamart. There was no Blinkit, there was no Zepto. Still lost because other people came, built it fast, tried few things that gave them a lot of advantage. And then there are companies which work really well with, because they are early mover, but there you need to have build some mode, like you have some licenses that other people can't get, and those licenses will help you. For example, you look at NBFCs. There are so many NBFC licenses that is been given, But the early licenses given to take a deposit, which is Bajaj Finance, Shriram Finance, DHFL, only they are supposed to take the deposits. And then after DHFL fiasco that happened, every RBI said that will not give any deposit taking NBFC licenses. So they have an advantage on that. So you have to play on that. So when you have a manufacturing advantage, when you have end-to-end supply chain advantage, when you have a regulatory license advantage, I think their early mover work. But if you look at some other internet-first company, Zerodha came in, but Grow became the largest broker because they learned what they are not doing, and they worked significantly better to improve the customer experience. So you will keep seeing such examples moving forward. Like if I just quickly touch about stable money as well, stable money started with fixed deposit, but there was Grow earlier who started with a fixed deposit business, shut it down. It didn't work for them, but now it is working significantly better for us. So anyways, we'll talk about it. But yes, early mover, when you have some competitive advantage of license, supply chain, manufacturing, it works. Or late movers work. Like for example, you look at after Ola and Uber, Rapido is giving run for the money for them.
Right.
Is because they have learned that customers at this point in time, everybody's taking cabs or wants auto. But the most important factor in this is supply, not the demand. आपके पास cabs होनी चाहिए, availability होनी चाहिए, cab कोई cancel ना करे, and that will happen only when the cab drivers or the auto drivers are paid well. You don't charge significant commissions. And that's why Rapido changed their model. Everybody switched to Rapido, and जहाँ पर supply है, वहाँ पे automatically demand जाएगा. So that works really, really beautifully well.
Right. So move to Bangalore. It's a dream startup city, which everyone probably either they're in Noida, Gurgaon, or in Bangalore. So how was that move?
Oh, Bangalore! I remember I just had a kid at that point in time. He was 1 year, and I moved to Bangalore, and I was not sure whether I'll survive in Bangalore because born and brought up in Maharashtra, and I stayed in Bombay, Pune, Aurangabad. I don't know if Bangalore is the place I want to stay. So I came here with my co-founder of first startup, and we stayed in a PG again, and we said कि एक साल देखते हैं, and I'll go back. I'll go back to Bombay, and hence my parents, my wife, my kid, they were in Bombay itself, and I still remember that every Friday, 10:10 Jet Airways I used to take, and every Monday morning 6:20 Jet Airways I used to take to come back. So every weekend was in Bombay because I was staying alone here. But after a year, I said, no, this is a good city. Whether as everybody talks, and there are so many opportunities in Bangalore, right? And for people like us who believe in building, who believe in doing something for themselves and their family, you need opportunities, and opportunities are in Bangalore. Opportunities are not anywhere else. So I thought it's a great place. We came, and there's this. I don't know how many of you are aware, but in Bomanhalli, there is near Silkboard, there is this society called Salapuria Greenage, and we got a place here on rent, and it's a large society. We never stayed in such a large society. So, and then we said, no, I think Bangalore is a place where we want to stay a little more. 2.5 years I stayed at Swiggy. That's the first time I have seen such a large organization. Fractal is a large organization, but it's a very professional. It's you work for clients. Swiggy is massive. Swiggy moves very fast. You have a lot of cash. And I was chief of staff to that time the CEO of Swiggy. He was CEO of PNG who had joined it. And my idea was when I joined, Swiggy was doing 1 lakh order per day. And they said that first goal for you is to take it to 1 lakh order per day to 3 lakh orders per day. I don't know how many of you have seen Swiggy from those days, but there used to be a Swiggy free delivery coupon that used to be there. Yes, Swiggy 8 coupon that used to be there. Those are the coupon I used to run to drive more growth for Swiggy business. And then we realized that Swiggy is there in 7-8 cities. But is there a potential for Swiggy to be in multiple cities? And then that's the project I took. We were launching one new city every 7 months. I remember us launching Jaipur, Ahmedabad, and Chandigarh after the top cities. And that took us 7 months to launch those cities. We used to go set up office, onboard restaurants, onboard delivery partners, and demand and all of that. And we said, no, I think there is a potential to go to multiple cities. And we looked at one very interesting data. I don't know if you have seen this because I've spoken about this in a lot of podcasts earlier. We said that how will you identify whether there is a demand for Swiggy business in other cities? And that's when I thought that look at the washing machine sales that have happened across different cities. That will tell us whether people will use Swiggy or not. And when I told this to my manager, and then I told it to management, they said, kya bol raha hai? I said, if somebody in the family is buying a washing machine so that the housewife or the female of that family can save some time, can save some effort, that family will invest in ordering food for outside. That is one insight. Then we said कि यार थोड़ा mothers का wives का behavior अलग होता है. They will not like ordering food from outside at that point in time because they said कि इसका मतलब ये है कि I don't cook well. Yeah, I'm not good housewife or I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good mother. We said कि नहीं, आप इसको थोड़ा सा switch करो and you say कि खाना आपका है but dessert हमारा. That's where you have seen that Swiggy का गुलाब जामुन का ad. Right? We said कि आप गुलाब जामुन ऑर्डर करो स्विगी से या फिर आपने सब्जी बनाई है रोटी बनाई है बिरयानी आप बाहर से मंगाओ and that's how we started thinking about those 500 cities. We have done very unique innovations. We have gone to tourist cities. We said कि इस सिटी में हम सिर्फ 4 महीने काम करेंगे जब बहुत टूरिस्ट होता है and you go to Ooty, you will find us there. We went to student cities. We went to Cuttack. We went to Anand Vallabh Vidyanagar. We went to a lot of cities जहाँ पर colleges है, right? And the idea is कि आप meal start करो 29 rupees, 49 rupees, 99 rupees. That will work very well because they don't have money. So you have done that, launching one city every 7 months. Towards the end, I was launching 7 cities a day. Traveled across India. Massive exposure gave me a lot of confidence. Again, a turning point in the career. Those 500 cities today contribute almost 10 lakh orders per day for Swiggy. And obviously, we have struggled a little bit on police and regulators and government and all of that. But Swiggy was a big enough brand to solve for some of those issues. And we have tried another few unique things. Like Swiggy was already live on IPL. And what we have seen is we have looked at the data that how many people have downloaded the app across different cities. और आपने app download किया होगा, let's say, Aurangabad से. And you will see that Swiggy is not there. We started calling those people. We said ki, hey, Saurabh, you are from Aurangabad. You have downloaded our app. We are coming to your city. We need help in knowing which are good restaurants that you will eat from. That person was very happy. He said कि यार मुझे पूछ रहे हो आप आने से पहले. And that's how we started onboarding the restaurant. So things like we tried a lot of unique things at that point in time. And that gave a lot of confidence. Eventually I was managing the P&L also of that. And there got promotion, became AVP. At Swiggy, everybody was happy, families happy, things are stable. Is when I got one Sunday evening, I remember I was sitting and planning ki kal jaake kya karna hai office mein. I got a call from Sachin Bansal's office and then everything.
So Saurabh, before we get into your journey after Swiggy, there's one question which comes in my mind as a startup founder. Probably you can answer this. See, today startups are here to resolve the issues that plague a lot of individuals, right? What are the issues of masses? Like food was one part. So we undergo a lot of legal hurdles and compliances when we want to launch a new idea. See, for example, bike taxi Rapido is an example, wherein you must have heard that in Bangalore it is supposed to be banned from a particular
Tomorrow.
date.
Yeah.
Yes. So how you feel that as a startup entrepreneur who's trying to create a market for a new product,
You're right.
to go through all these legal hurdles?
See, there are two options. And I'll tell you what I prefer, but there is no right or wrong answer to this. One option is you look at the rule book and follow that rule book. If the rule is not written about that business because nobody thought about it, go and seek advice from the regulators and build that. Or second is you go and start the business, let it become big enough for people to create rules around that. I believe in the second category. As a startup founder, you will have to first go and create the market. Otherwise, who will listen to you? Like, you are nobody for a regulator to come and create rules for that. Nobody knows how big is that market. Tomorrow you want to start something, but you'll say there are no rules written, I'll build the rules. But what if there is no demand for that? So idea is go build a business, break some rules. And then I think once you are big enough, then go and solve for it. If that means saying sorry, that means paying penalty, that means slowing down your growth and building the rules, I think should be very okay in doing that. And there are certain businesses that now exist. Like for example, us, right? We know we are in investment business and investment rules are written from day one. So we know what we have to follow. So in those businesses, it becomes very, very easy. But in some newer categories that you get into, whether it is food delivery, whether it is anything else, I think there are no rules. So go build that, make it big enough so that people listen to you and then try and build guardrails. And I think so far in these days, I think regulators are very open. They want foreign money to come in. They want startups to get built. They want jobs to get created. They'll be very open to listening to you.
So you were doing great at Swiggy, right? What was the idea behind quitting and moving to Navi? Was Sachin Bansal the calling?
Definitely, Sachin Bansal was the calling. I think when I got the call from Sachin Bansal's office, and they said, "Ki, Saurabh, we're looking for three things. We're looking for somebody who is from a good college. You are from IIT Bombay. Somebody who has done some startup in the past. I've done one failed startup in the past. And somebody who's done chief of staff role somewhere. And I was in Swiggy chief of staff to the CEO. I think उस टाइम पे चीफ ऑफ स्टाफ वाले रोल ज्यादा थे नहीं, सो आई थिंक आई वाज द मे बी द ओनली कैंडिडेट they could find in these three criteria, and they said ki come. I said ki ठीक है, I'll come. And I came inside and said to my wife and mom, "See, यार Sachin Bansal के office से call है." And my wife knew about Sachin Bansal. My mom said ki who is Sachin Bansal? I said ki how do I explain you? Sachin Bansal is like a Modi of startups, right? He's the one who got startups into Indian ecosystem, build such a long thing. Kuch nahi to let me just go and see him. I don't know whether I'll get a job or not, but I want to meet him. And that's how I met him. It went really well, and finally got an opportunity. And then the idea was to decide what to do, right? And this is the first time I had an opportunity to choose between two things. कि स्विगी है, सब अच्छा चल रहा है, या ये है Navi है. And Navi is a new business. It's a fintech. A lot of people warned me saying that, Saurabh, it's very, very difficult to work with Sachin Bansal. It's very difficult person to work with. Swiggy में you have built your reputation. Everybody knows you. Things are going well. 4-5 साल में IPO चला जाएगा. This is 2017 we were talking. So why leave everything? Sab hai, your kid is small. Why do you want to get into these things? And there was just COVID happening. This is 2020, February. Just early signs of COVID were coming. I said, and this is the first time I had no clue how to operate when you have two options. And I said कि यार मैं ये समझता हूँ कि मेरे पास कोई दूसरा option है ही नहीं. And what is the difficult things? And that's when I remember people say ki when you have two choices, choose the one which is difficult in short term. Obviously, Navi was difficult in short term. You have to build everything from scratch. It's a financial market business. So I chose that. Obviously, this time I had some cushion of saying, ki, if nothing works out, I'll come back to Swiggy. I left. I joined Navi in April, 27th April 2020. Just COVID was starting, right? So, and from day one, life was hell. I think 3rd या 4th May को मुझे याद है first wave बंद हुई थी, but everybody was still at home, and Sachin said कि come to office. And yeah, we started going to office. It was very difficult to work with him. He was always on his toes. आपको लगता है कि Sachin Bansal, after Flipkart, who has made 9,000 crores in cash, will be a little lenient. But he was building like he's building for the first time. Full time available, and I've never seen anybody like him. It's very difficult to work with him. How he thinks so fast. All of that. But slowly built confidence, worked hard again. And after 6-8 months of that, had a lot of confidence of Sachin. And at that point in time, we have done an acquisition of a company called SL Mutual Fund. If you know the owner of Z, Subhash Chandras, they had a SL Mutual Fund, and we said we will acquire that. That acquisition happened, and Sachin said, Saurabh, why don't you become the CEO of this? And I had no clue about mutual funds. I've just got into the financial market. I said, and I was the youngest CEO. If I were to take the position, I'll be the youngest CEO versus all these people that you see, right? At that time, Radhika Gupta was there, Kalpen Parekh was there, there was Motilal Oswal. A lot of these people who were the biggies
all
of mutual funds.
of EMCs.
Yes, all this big people from EMC said, I had no clue what to do. He said, no, I think that's exactly what I want. I want people not from the industry. I want young blood to go and change the way things happen in the traditional businesses. I got in, everybody in the industry was shocked, yaar, ye kya move hai? But obviously nobody said it on the face. And to me, again, it is to work hard, prove everybody wrong, because that's the only thing you can do right now. I spent 3-4 months talking to maybe 800,000 people, understanding how they do mutual funds. What do they understand about mutual fund? And that's when I realized that there is an opportunity to become Vanguard of India. And if you know Vanguard is the biggest AMC of the US. They focus on index funds. We said that India में कोई index fund बनाता नहीं है. And the main reason why they don't build index fund is because AMCs don't make money on index fund because the expense ratio is very low. We said that there is a great opportunity to build that because it's a simple product. Eventually, people will realize that आपके जितने भी human-based AMCs है, only few will do good. But you don't know which one to choose. You will always be stuck with that. आज आपको लग रहा है क्वांट म्यूचुअल फंड अच्छा कर रहा है, आपने क्वांट म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डाला, अगले 3 साल वो अच्छा नहीं करे तो क्या करोगे? और ऐसा बहुत बार होता है, राइट? हम वो उस चीज में पैसा डालते हैं जहां पर लग रहा है कि सब अच्छा चल रहा है, और जैसे हम पैसा डालते हैं वहां से वो नीचे जाता है, या हम जहां से बेचते हैं वहां से ऊपर जाता है. We said the best thing is index funds for people, and people will realize this over a period of time. We built a 10-year plan. We said that we will build India's largest index fund AMC. We filed for some 17 unique product. We built a fund of fund on Vanguard. We are the first one to build Vanguard to India. And we were running on the lowest cost expense ratio. So आप अभी भी जाओ, you will see that Navi Nifty 50 runs on a 6 to 8 basis point expense ratio, but बाकी के सारे लोग runs on a 30-40 basis point expense. That gave us a lot of visibility. That gave me a lot of visibility and gave me a lot of confidence. So did that. 1.5 years, things were well. Sachin asked me to take over health insurance business as well. We had acquired DHFL health insurance at that point in time. So I was doing that. And again, right, 2-3 years of Navi. And I said, see, the biggest problem that I realized after Swiggy and Navi is that, and a lot of people here, or maybe young kids would feel this, is I think with there is innovation that is happening across every generation. I remember in our time when our parents were working, there was computers were coming in. And I remember bank workers were so dead against it, saying that this will take away our jobs and all of that. And a lot of people will become unemployed. ऐसा हुआ नहीं. Obviously, tech and computers bring so many more jobs. But that spectrum of people who were working in those age groups who couldn't adapt to those newer technologies, they lost their jobs. हम वो नहीं देख पाते. आज भी आप देखो, you look at AI, everybody is saying कि AI will take away jobs 100%. But I believe AI will also create more jobs, but for the younger generation.
Correct.
हमारा age group है, like I am 37 now. This 35 to 45, these people, this target group will struggle to find a new job, to find a new opportunity, because it's very difficult for us to go and adopt to a new thing. And that's always the fear that I have, that I have built my entire identity recognition, as you mentioned, around the work that I do. And what if someday you have some money, but you're sitting at home, I can't do anything, right? So what's your identity? And that's where I believe that keep taking newer and bolder bet. That's when in Swiggy, 2021 December, I said to Sachin that, Sachin, I want to move, start something. He said, no, build something here. I tried it for 6 months. It didn't work out. So I said, no, I want to move. July 2022, I left. And I said, ki now I think personally as well, there is some cash cushion that I have, which my family can survive on. My son was 6.5, 7 years. Parents are still healthy. I said, I can spend my next 5-10 years building something again, because वो एक हमेशा होता है ना कि you're first time failed entrepreneur, right? You want one more chance of building it. I said, let me get that one more chance of building. And that's where I left. And in July 2022, I resigned. I had no plan what to build. I said, let me leave. And that's how I started Stable Money, which is now been almost 2.5 years, 3 years.
So Saurabh, this gets me to one question which is running in my mind, right?
Right.
You've told me that your father had tried his hand at a couple of ventures which did not work out. You had a couple of ventures which again could not grow the way you want. Where did you muster that courage from to start another one?
मुझे लगता है कि see, at first, if you see just this story, I think you will feel कि यार क्यों किया? But what I've realized is that every bet that I've taken, right, has worked for me. Leaving or getting fired from JP Capital and applying and getting into Fractal worked for me. Coming back from Geneva has worked for me because I landed in a Swiggy job, which otherwise would have been very difficult for me. I have done Swiggy, the roles which were very difficult, which worked for me, got me into Navi. And Navi also is the similar trajectory, gave me those visibility across India, across regulators that I've done something. वो नहीं होता अगर मैं अभी भी जिनीवा में बैठा होता, या वो नहीं होता अगर मैं अभी भी दिल्ली में वो जॉब कर रहा होता. Right? So I said कि some of these things have worked. Sometimes I feel that whatever your parents have earned is giving you the benefit of that. They didn't get the benefit of that. So I said कि taking bolder bets has always helped me. This is also a good time to take some bolder bet. Though every time the only thing that you do is आपके bets थोड़े और calculated हो जाते हैं, right? Like for example, first time when I left my job in Delhi, I had nothing. So looks like a very bad call. Second time when I left Geneva, I had some cash. Looks like a little calculated risk. When I left from Swiggy, I know that I can anytime come back to Swiggy. I have decent capital now, and Navi is also paying well. Slightly better calculated risk. And when I left Navi also, I know that there are investors in the market who will back people like me. So I will not have to struggle from day one. So it becomes calculated anyways. And I know ki, the risk-taking appetite will keep going down. I said ki then to perfect, this is a great time to do this. And that's how I decided to leave. Though it looks like very easy कि अच्छा सोचा निकला. I think I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Again, my parents were worried कि अच्छा तू वो जो पहली बार जो तूने स्टार्टअप किया था सब्जी वाला, you will do something like that where you are going at 4 a.m. into APMCs and वो आलू प्याज की गोनी लेके घूम रहा है. I think they were worried, but they still agreed. Yeah.
So Swiggy was majorly an app-based business. Like everyone downloads the app and orders. Navi again is a completely app-based. So was that the idea when you probably thought of stable money as an app-only venture?
No, I think when I left, there's no idea. But when we started stable money, yes, I think it was very clear that internet is important. Everybody is doing things on app. आपका zero का ले लो, kite ले लो, grow ले लो. Everything is happening on the app. The physical distribution business is going down. So I said कि app is obviously no brainer to build. And that's how we said, no, if whatever we build, we'll have to build it on app. That's our strength. You can give better customer experience. You can reach out to maximum users. And today we have customers across 890 cities in India. That was not possible अगर आप app या internet वाला leverage नहीं लोगे तो. So that's how we got into thinking of app. But I think the bigger thinking about stable money was that, and a lot of people here have been doing investments, but अगर आप इंडिया में देखोगे तो जब हम नावी कर रहे थे, I realized कि lot of people are applying for NFO of mutual fund and selling it on the first day. And I had no idea why people are doing that कि आप NFO लेके बेच क्यों रहे? Because they were confusing NFO with IPO.
Yeah.
तो उनको so and that's the true understanding of market. I think यहाँ पर this is a very different TG. यहाँ everybody knows how money works and how investment works, but a large part of India doesn't understand even mutual fund today. And we said कि there is so much of mutual fund ले लो और stocks ले लो और ये लो वो लो, and people are losing money. They don't know when to enter, when to exit. Axis Mutual Fund ने एक study किया था. They said कि my fund has given a return of 18%, right? But only 5% of the users have got that 18%. Because बाकी के customers entered at the wrong time, left at the wrong time. So that's the difficult part. And you now see the stories जहाँ पर people are losing so much in FNO and all of that. He said कि नहीं यार, India is a very savings first country. The largest investment asset class in India is fixed deposit. Fixed deposit has 72 lakh crores worth of investment. Even in last 1 year, you have got 6.5 lakh crore coming into fixed deposit versus mutual fund is still 2.5 lakh crores. Obviously, mutual fund is growing fast, equity is growing fast. But we said that there is a lot of scope of building products around fixed deposit. It's India's favorite asset class. Everybody understands this product. You don't have to do a lot more education. There is no innovation that has happened in fixed deposit, right? आज आपको fixed deposit करना है, you will have to, what do? You go to bank, you open a savings account, फिर वहां पर आप fixed deposit करते हो. अभी आपको पता है आपका HDFC आपको 6.25 दे रहा है, right? But अभी आपको पता है कि यार बाकी बैंक 5 लाख, बाकी बैंक 8.5-9% दे रहे हैं, बट वहां जाओ तो उसकी ब्रांच नहीं है, सेविंग्स अकाउंट खोलो, वो सेफ है या नहीं है. बट आपको ये पता होगा कि आफ्टर यस बैंक fiasco that happened in 2020, right? The Indian government has increased the insurance per FD per user per bank to 5 lakh from 2 lakh. Now up to 5 lakh rupees invested in any bank is as safe as SBI. So why are you earning 2.5%, 3% less interest rate? Is like 25 crore retail investors in India. Only 1% earn more than 8% in their FDs. So you are losing 3 lakh crores every year. I said कि यार ये why people are not building it, and there were multiple reasons. अरे FD कौन करता है this? We took that bet. We remember we started in August 2023, and we said कि अगले 12 महीनों में हर रोज का 1 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट हमको लाना है हमारे डिपॉजिट्स में. मतलब महीने का 30 करोड़ आपको इंक्रीमेंटल उस महीने का इंक्रीमेंटल इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए. We said 12 महीनों में ये टारगेट लेते हैं. And we launched with small finance bank which were offering 9.1, 9.5% interest rate on stable money. And they were DICGC insurance. आप stable money पे जाओगे तो you don't have to create a savings account. आप जाओ, आप FD करो, आप आपकी FD बंद हो जाएगी, आपका कोई savings account नहीं है वहां पर. So you don't have to manage taxation. You guys know everything about taxation कि कितना difficult होता है to manage multiple savings account. And we said कि 12 महीनों में 30 करोड़ जाना है. And to our surprise, the first month of us, September 2023, we did 30 crores. And today, this month, we are doing 350 crores only in this month. We are already a 3,000 crore book of fixed deposit across 20 lakh customers who have invested in fixed deposit. We have around 10 banks onto the platform, and some big banks like IDFC, IndusInd are also there. We have a lot of small finance bank. And today, when the expectation is the FD rates is going to fall, a lot of people are coming and booking a long tenure 8.5, 8.6, 9% FDs on our platform. And we have made it very, very simple. And that's when we realized that everybody thought that fixed deposit will not work, but एक बहुत बड़ा कस्टमर बेस है इंडिया में जो सोशल मीडिया पे कुछ ज्यादा बोलता नहीं है, कहीं कुछ बोलता नहीं है, वो चुपचाप वो कस्टमर बेस believes in earning more money than growing money through investments. And I'll tell you the difference. वो कस्टमर बेस जो बोलता है कि मैं फैमिली को पढ़ाऊंगा and I'll get a good job, I'll get promotion, I'll work hard, I'll open more shop, I'll grow my business, and that's how I want to increase my income. But there are some people, and rightly so, who say कि यार मेरे पास जो है वो है, I will do better investment and keep growing this money. I will not focus on earning more. हम वो earning more वाले कस्टमर बेस पे फोकस करना चाहते हैं, जो लोग पैसा बचाने में बिलीव करते हैं, जो लोग पैसा कमाने में बिलीव करते हैं, who cares about the safety net, the family, and not putting all their money in stocks and mutual fund, kind of the customer base. And that TG, that customer base will never come out and speak. तो आपको हमेशा ऐसा लगेगा सोशल मीडिया पे कि म्यूचुअल फंड और स्टॉक ही चलेगा, but because ये लोग कुछ बोलते नहीं है. So when we launch, I think we got a lot more love from these customers. We have customers who have invested more than 1.5 to 2 crores onto stable money platform individually. Wow. As a family, we have people who have invested up to 5 crores. They have taken out their money from HDFCs and SBI and put it here, because why earn 2% less interest rate, which over a 3-year, 5-year could compound to a significant amount. And safety is exactly the same. And all the banks that we are talking are banks listed on the exchange. आप जाओ सूर्योदय देख लो, उत्कर्ष देख लो, all these banks, because by mandate of RBI, you have to list if you're a small finance. So the only problem is awareness कम है, इनके branches नहीं है. So we solved for that problem.
So do you have a nudge in your systems which says that, okay, if I want to invest 15 lakh rupees, please split it up into 4 and invest 4 lakh rupees, or something less than 5 lakh rupees per bank, so that it's completely guaranteed through the insurance, DIGC insurance?
Yeah. No, and not only that, what we also do is, if somebody comes and invest 5 lakh, हम उसको वो भी नज देते कि आप 5 लाख मत डालो, because the DICGC insurance is 5 lakh, but it's 5 lakh principal plus interest. It's not only principal. So we said कि यार आप 4,50,000 डालो, so that 2 साल, 3 साल, 5 साल में वो 5 लाख भी हुआ तो, और बैंक को कुछ हो भी जाता है, आपको पूरा 5 लाख वापस आएगा. So that is one thing. And when we started this business, and I'll tell you how the life unfolds. When I started this business, I had no clue how DICGC works, right? So, and कि 5 लाख है, but 5 लाख कैसे होता है, distribute कैसे क्या है? And I realized my parents have 35 lakhs saved in their lifetime in one bank in Aurangabad called Ajanta Urban Cooperative Bank. You can go and search about that. And that bank, that guy is a cooperator in Aurangabad, same community, have got license for the last 25, 30 years, has been doing business. And nobody thought, I will also never think that bank will go down. But I told my parents कि यार आप safe रहो ना, आप उस 35 लाख को do it across multiple banks, do it across multiple accounts, and do that. They did it, and after 3 months, that bank shut down.
Oh,
और आप अभी भी जाके DICGC के वेबसाइट पे देख लो, उस बैंक का नाम होगा. They took so much time to pay, and I've seen people who are retired, जो अपनी लाइफ का पूरा सेविंग्स वहां रखा है, ओनली फीमेल अर्नर, पूरा सेविंग्स, बट सिर्फ 5 लाख वापस आया उन कस्टमर्स का. एंड दिस इज द, और सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि ये होने के बावजूद लोग वहीं पर पैसा डालते हैं बिकॉज हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट मिल रहा है. So that's where we said that you don't go to cooperative bank. Break your. हमको लगता है हमारे बैंक को कुछ नहीं होगा, but ऐसा होता नहीं. You see that New India Bank in Bombay faced the same issue couple of months ago. People are standing in the queue, and that's the point that you want to ensure that you break it across multiple banks. 5 lakh kamao, and we have done a lot more innovation. You don't have to open a savings account when you have to open FD. You, अगर आपको पैसा चाहिए, आप बटन क्लिक करो, पैसा उस सेकंड आपके अकाउंट में आ जाएगा, वेदर इट इज 5 लाख, 10 लाख, 15 लाख, 20 लाख. सो आपको उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. देयर आर, यू कैन डू RDs, यू कैन डू FDs, यू कैन डू SIPs. आप मंथली क्वार्टरली पे आउट ले सकते हो. सो देयर इज ऑल ऑफ दैट वी हैव बिल्ट, बट जस्ट टू मेक श्योर दैट पीपल अर्न हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट, दे हैव द कन्वीनियंस टू डू इट थ्रू देयर ऐप, एंड दे डोंट लूज मनी through these high 13-14% वाले cooperative bank. And I don't know, I'm sure अपना customer base जो यहाँ पर है वो लोग नहीं करते cooperative banks में, but if they are doing, I would urge them to please look at your investments and don't put more than 5 lakh rupees in every bank. That is, भले ही कितने भी अच्छे से हम जानते हैं उस cooperative bank को, be safe so that आप चैन से सो पाओ. I'm not saying you have to do it on stable money, but do it across any banks. But please don't keep more than 5 lakh in one bank.
So split up your fixed investments.
Yeah, because FD वो पैसा है अक्षय जो बहुत मेहनत से कमा के लोगों ने डाला है ना. FD वो पैसा नहीं है कि मैंने कोई स्टॉक मार्केट में सडनली 10x रिटर्न आ गया तो मैंने उसकी FD कर लिया. ऐसा नहीं होता है. FD धीरे धीरे आप जमा पूंजी, घर के लेडीज जमा करके वो पैसा बचा के और सब लोग जमा करके वो एक इमरजेंसी फंड की तरह यूज करें कि कभी कुछ मुश्किल का टाइम आया तो मैं शादी के लिए, एजुकेशन के लिए, आई विल यूज दैट. यू डोंट वांट टू यूज दैट, राइट? एंड माय इन-लॉज, आई हैव टोल्ड दिस टू माय पेरेंट्स, आई कुडंट हैव अ चांस टू टेल इट टू माय इन-लॉज, दे आल्सो फ्रॉम औरंगाबाद. दे लॉस्ट 75 lakhs इन दैट अजंता अर्बन बैंक. अब वो नहीं आएगा. हमारे होप्स होते हैं कि पैसा आएगा, बट लाइक बाय लॉ इट विल नॉट कम. So, and why we go through this pain? So that's the whole thing. That's the whole idea through which we have built stable money. We said ki let's build India's fixed income investment platform, which gives you higher returns on this. And a logical step after building this was building a corporate bond as a category. Corporate bond, I don't know how many of us know it here, but corporate bond is another a great product, government bond, corporate bond, which gives you 11-12% return if you invest in the right bonds. And it's a fixed income return. There is a guaranteed return that comes to you onto the platform. This product was available only to high net worth individual before this because the minimum ticket size 10 lakh. Now the minimum ticket size is reduced to 10,000.
10,000.
And we have launched this product in September 2024, and to your surprise, we have been growing 100% month on month after that. This month we will be doing 120 crores worth of investment just in this month on corporate bonds, and these are 12% product. Like you can go to stable money and you can get Adani bond at a 9.5%, right? We know Adani is a highly rated bond. You get government of India bonds at a 7%, 8%. These are fully secure. FD में तो फिर भी 5 लाख का इंश्योरेंस है. अगर आप किसी भी गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड में डालो, there is no limit. आप 5 करोड़ डालो, 5 करोड़ इंश्योरेंस. There is no limit to that. We have Piramal bond, Motilal Oswal. We have a lot more crazily early. ये सारे ब्रांड्स जो आपने देखे हुए, which are tried, tested, जिनकी CRISIL rating are A rated and above. These are bonds which are giving 11-12% return. Monthly, quarterly payout है. So that's the second product that we have launched, which is seeing a lot more success on this. And the next product that we are launching is gold, because we believe that FD, bonds, and gold, these are the three critical categories when it comes to fixed income investments. The gold is not a fixed income, but लोगों के दिमाग में वो fixed income की तरह होता है. और
Because
जब से
tangibility which is attached to it, right?
Yes, and it's been growing. And inflation के साथ, जैसे एक simple logic बताता हूँ. 1 किलो सोना अगर 25 साल पहले आप एक घर ले सकते थे, 1 किलो सोने में आज भी आप एक घर ले सकते हो, और 1 किलो सोने में आज से 25 साल बाद भी आप एक घर ले सकते हो. That's the perfect hedge for inflation. 10% of your investment has to be in gold. 2% of your investment has to be in silver. Silver, why don't do more? Because अभी prices ऊपर है, तो लोगों को लग रहा है silver लेना चाहिए. Silver has a lot more industrial use. तो उसको inflation के against आप use नहीं कर सकते, but you can have 2% in that, 10% in gold is a great strategy to build. But जब से sovereign gold bond बंद हुआ है, तब से there is no tax efficient product in that. And the only tax efficient product if you want to do gold investments, and I know हमारे customers believes in buying gold and keeping it. But अगर आप वो वाला एंगल हटा दो कि ज्वेलरी नहीं करना है, स्टोरेज नहीं करना है, सेफ्टी रखना है, I think the best product is gold mutual fund. Gold mutual fund आप लो, आपको 100% प्योरिटी मिलेगा. You will get transparent prices. There is LTCG, तो long term capital gain लगता है आपको gold mutual fund पे. So after 2 years, you'll pay only 12% tax on that. You can buy, sell anytime. That's the best product that exists, and that's what we want to launch. So these are the three products, Akshay, that we will do. Our goal is, today we are at a 3,000 crore. We want to be at a 10,000 crore in next 1 year in doing this business, where we are saying that हमारा customers कभी भी platform पे आएगा तो उसको negative return नहीं दिखेगा.
Correct.
So the peace of mind is what we are giving. We are now setting up with this, and as we build this business in the last 2.5 years, we have been very, very fortunate to have investors backing us for this business. We have so far raised around 340 crores to run this business. Of that, 300 crores is still in bank. Our office is based out of HSR. We are a 120 member team right now. And our idea is to plan and open offices across India, because हमारा customer base आज भी physical touch, physical interaction में believe करता है. So we're building that. Yeah, and we have been very lucky, honestly, to start right product, right time in this Indian market, and have some of the backers and early investors who have helped us in doing that. और जब हमारा ये series B भी हुआ, I think rather than throwing party to all our employees and investors, we said कि नहीं, हम बैंगलोर में हमने JW Marriott में एक इवेंट किया जहाँ पर हमारे बैंगलोर के सारे कस्टमर्स को बुलाया जो आप आए. And I think we had some 500 people who came, and we celebrated with them over a lunch. We announced to them first that this is the investment, because we believe that this business is built on trust, और trust आप ऐसे ही earn करोगे by staying close to your customer base. We are the only fintech company today who offers a call support to our customers before buying and after buying, because we said कि यार मैं नहीं चाहता हूँ कि customers मेरा ऐप पूरा समझे और खुद ही करें, या फिर मुझे ईमेल करके टिकट ट्रेस करें. मैं चाहता हूँ कि यार कस्टमर्स को प्रॉब्लम आया, उसने फोन किया, हमारे कस्टमर सपोर्ट से बात करेगा, वी विल सॉल्व ऑल योर प्रॉब्लम immediately. So that's been the story so far on stealing money.
So Saurabh ji, we will ask you one. This is my personal question, which I'll probably ask you, and then we'll probably do a rapid fire, and then we'll close this event with a vote of thanks by our chairman. So my question: where does Saurabh invest?
I now invest across. I have 35% of my investment into fixed income product, which is gold, FDs, and bond. I have 5% cash in cases of more such emergency. Of the 60% remaining, I have 10% to 15% in real estate, REITs and some of the products. And bacha hua 50% is into equities. So stocks and mutual fund is what I prefer. I am more firm believer of index funds. I invest in Nifty 50 and I invest in Bank Nifty. I think these are the two products that I heavily invest in right now. And then barring some stocks, I focus more on mutual funds.
Perfect. अभी आपके साथ एक छोटा सा rapid fire लेंगे. These are a little generic questions, but probably you will like answering them. So the first one is risk you are glad you took.
Risk I'm glad I took is leaving Geneva and coming back to India.
Great. Build fast or build right?
First build fast, then build right.
I guess that's what every startup wants to do these days. Okay. Fire or slow wealth?
Sorry?
Fire or slow wealth?
Slow wealth. Because I don't believe in retirement.
Exactly. So maybe after being in company of Sachin Bansal, I don't think you'll believe in fire at all. Because even after sitting on 9,000 rupees of cash, he does not want to go.
Fire is a very, is conceptually looks okay. But I don't think what will we do when we retire. So it's always to be busy. Keep having some goals that increase your lifespan also.
Correct. Strategy or execution?
Execution.
Stocks, real estate or fixed income?
Fixed income.
I expected that. Okay. Stable money is equal to?
Trust.
One personal finance mistake people make too often, as per you?
Put all eggs in one basket, or most of your money in one basket.
Okay. One book you think that changed your life?
One book that changed my life is sorry, I read a lot of books, but there is this book called Shoe Dog, which is written by Nike founder on how they build a business. I think that changed me how to think about the business.
It's a very good book. So I have read the synopsis of it. I will definitely recommend it.
I think, yes, please read.
Yeah. Weirdest thing that you have been asked by an investor?
How do I double my wealth?
Okay. One mistake every startup founder should avoid?
That hire from day one. I think startup founders should believe in doing yourself than hiring. As raising fund is very easy these days, Akshay. So लोगों को लगता है पहले करके मैं team बना लेता हूँ, and my team will execute, and I'll do strategy. That doesn't help. Like even today, you won't believe that I take 10 customer calls every day. Even at this scale where we have a 70-member support team. Because जब तक आप नहीं हो involved, तब तक आप business, और इसीलिए मैं आपको बोलता हूँ कि why Jain community does so well in businesses anywhere that they go is the owner is always hands on. आप दुकान ले लो, आप business ले लो, आप कुछ भी ले लो, that owner is not like hire and give. And जहां पर भी आपने वो देखा है, you will see that business eventually has failed जहां पर next generation of people have given it to their employees or have given it to their people saying कि तुम चलाओ मैं सिर्फ यहाँ बैठूंगा. That businesses will fail, and that's why I believe that startup founders should be so hands-on at any point in time.
Sir, I'm sure this answer will make all the 40+ age group very happy.
No, I'm
right.
I believe so.
Yeah. So the last one, what advice would you want to give a 22-year-old, or I'll make it a little more sweeter for you. What advice would you as a 37-year-old would like to give a 22-year-old Saurabh?
I would say that rather than running behind money, because at that point in time, that was my only goal, कि थोड़ा पैसा कमाना है. I should have invested in myself, in building more skill set, in getting more experiences. I think I realized after staying in Geneva that spending money on travel staying with family, traveling with family, lets you know so much about yourself that you will not know in day out. So मैं यही बोलता हूँ आज की, rather than me saving 50,000 rupees for my son, आज कि यार आज इसको मैं इन्वेस्ट कर देता हूँ एक जगह में, so that 10-15 साल बाद उसको ये पैसा बढ़ के मिलेगा. I would invest that 50,000 rupees in taking him to a places, giving him those experiences today, because that will shape him. So I would have invested in myself, in getting more experiences, in doing more things than saving money, earning more money. I think that's the only thing that I believe.
Well, Saurabh, I had about 100 things in my mind running, which I wanted to ask you. I have a list of questions from the registered members as well as the live audience, but due to the paucity of time, I'll not be able to take that. But I will definitely push these questions to you so that you can answer them at your leisure. And I would now like to probably invite our chairman, sir, to propose a vote of thanks.
I'll just only mention one thing, Akshay. I know we spoke a lot about this, but having such a great audience, and I've seen most of the people have stayed for so long for this. I want to say a big thank you to them. I don't know if my story inspires you a lot, but you staying and listening to me means a lot to me. And thank you so much. And I want to stay in touch. We are also doing, and I've told this to Akshay as well, that anybody here who wants to invest on stable money, I will personally share my link. We have created a very great hamper for some of our key customers, and I want to, via Akshay and Jito, I want to offer that to everybody, that I'll share the link. Anybody who invests through that link will send a nice hamper to their house. Plus, we are also building a distribution business. So if anybody is into distributing investment products like mutual funds and stocks and demat accounts, we are building that for fixed deposit and bonds as well, where you will be given similar commissions like you get from mutual funds. So if anybody is into that, I am personally will stay in touch and work along with you. Sorry, so that's the only last thing, Akshay.
Definitely, sir. Thanks a lot on this. And I will make sure that I probably put this across to all the people who are attending here, as well as the community on a complete picture.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Tarunji, I would request you to probably invite Harikishan ji, and then probably we'll take.
Okay, hello everyone. You're able to hear me, right? All good?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Akshay and Saurabh. It was wonderful. I'm sure all our invitees, all our attendees have definitely learned a lot of things. Me personally, who have just started on my entrepreneurship journey, there were a lot of learning. One learning I would like to highlight, which was from your rapid fire round, was hands-on. I'm an engineer by myself, and I would really like to help thank Saurabh that he shared this thing, because I was also thinking, let's have the team and let them do the work. But thank you, and I feel myself fortunate that I got this opportunity and I was able to learn a lot of things, a lot of learnings, which I'm sure I'll take forward. And this particular webinar will always be very near and very close to me. Awesome. Thank you on my side. Now, to do the honors, I would now like to request just a second. I'll just do the technical things before. Okay, Harikishan sir, can you raise your hand? I see that you're still connecting. Okay, just I think he's maybe reconnecting. I'm not able to make him. Okay, so quick emojis. Meanwhile, our beloved chairman sir is coming online. How would you all rate? Like, can you all give hands up? Like, I was really, I didn't realize that it's 1.5 hours and we are talking, and a lot of information, a lot of things was flowing just like a normal people. And wow, see, we are getting a lot of feedback. So happy to see this, and I myself feel the same. And I would like to inform Saurabh sir as well that, like, when Akshay sir told me that we are having Saurabh sir coming, and I saw the stable money state, like third day itself, I created the account. I did the FTs because I think you got a very good problem statement, which was there are a lot of options available. People are FD friendly, but going to different banks is of course a problem. So the problem, as soon as you solved it, and I think as soon as I got to know, within 3 days I did my FDs, and I'm so happy that we are connected on this platform after that. So thank you again from my side to start this product, and I wish you all the very best. But I would like to highlight one thing, like all the events what we do, our chairman sir, you have heard our convener Ronak sir, we get all the support and all the tech supports or support we need, and we are very thankful for that. I would now take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining us for this lovely Sunday morning. I'm sure just like me, how I enjoyed, you all have enjoyed a lot. Keep coming up, keep a watch on our JPF events. We are trying our best to bring you new people, new ideas, new thoughts. With entire team of JPF, my committee, Jito Bangalore, and all the attendees, I would like to thank Mr. Saurabh Jain again to devote his Sunday morning. I'm sure being a family man, his kid will be, of course, knocking his door that daddy come out and we want to go out and all. So among this, I thank again from bottom of my heart, from all of my committee attendees and everyone. Thank you, Saurabh sir, for joining today.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure having the word with you.
Same here. And thank you everyone for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So with this, please look out for our next event. We will be hosting another event next month. Till then, have a good time. Take care. And do share your feedbacks on our email.